Hello doodly doodle friends on YouTube. I just bought new cable, monster cable, and it looks pretty cool, but it's pretty expensive, and I was thinking like, why the hell is it so expensive? So hereby, the official test. Is it worth the money to buy expensive cable? We'll find out. First reason to buy monster cable, life warranty. If this cable breaks without you using a knife or something else that is sharp, you can just get a new one for free. You have to save this thing though. Do not lose this. My first cable with a manual. Espanol. Nederlands. Informatie voor de consumenten is in uitvoering van de Europese richtlijn. 24 karat gold. How cool is that? Right, how are we going to test this? Let's take my Marshall. Don't use any effect pedals, just a cheap ass cable, a good cable, like the monster cable. Plug it in, change some settings. But first of all, I also bought my new Elixir strings. I'm gonna string my guitar up, have fresh strings to have a fresh test. Lovely. Here's the real test. Shibadoo. Alright, we just start with a clean channel, which is pretty clean today. Clean enough for me. I'm going to play something and then I'm going to switch from the monster cable to the cheap cable. Which brand is it? Audio Master High Performance Low Noise Instrument Cable. Take that! €5. Very cheap. Sounds pretty good. Now just switch to the low instrument noise cable, high performance, low whatever. I'm not hearing that much of a difference. Right now I'm going to play something with crunchy tone. Give me some gain, motherfucker. did it feel? It felt a little bit more punchy, like you had more tight bass, not just bass that is spread all over the place, no, just tight, focused, in-your-face bass. Sounds like a button here, like the in-your-face bass knob. But you really notice a difference, maybe not on YouTube, but here in the room, in front of the speaker, you can really feel the bass just is more focused on what it should do. A punch in the face, man! I think it's time for some high gain tests. I think that's a noticeable difference, whether or not it's really bad and whether or not you can adjust the tone with just the EQ on your amp. I don't know, I think you can, except for the punchy bass part. I mean, it's just, it sounds really that much better with the monster cable. The next test is going to be the super high gain noise test. Woo! I'm going to put my guitar in another room so it doesn't go like beep. Now this is the cheap cable and it has all presence, all treble, all middle, all bass. No reverb, nothing reverb. Gain full, the boost knob thing full. Oh crap! And right now it has the volume on 6, and this is some noise. Switch cable. Be very careful when you have high volumes and high gain. Put the volume down, or use the standby. Alright, monster cable goes in. Everything is the same, but now with the monster cable, this is better. This is really better. What? No way. I'm going to pick you up. Hello? You can clearly see the difference between that and that. So it's clear that the monster cable wins in a noise test. It also wins... It also wins in my opinion, and not that the clean didn't really matter. It was mainly when you start using gain, you just lose high and you lose tightness in the low end. And I think because of that, the cheap cable just loses. But is it worth the money? I mean, everything that makes your sound better is worth the money. So, actually it's a weird question. But, I mean, alright, it's about 6 times more expensive compared to the cheap cable. Well, it will last a lot longer. And if it breaks down, without any traces of you using a knife or like having it between a door that shuts and there is like a big crack in the rubber insulation, I mean, you can just go to the store you bought it and ask a new one. So maybe it will just last 6 times longer, or not, maybe just 5 times longer, but then it's worth the money, because then it means it's just a few euros or pounds or dollars more expensive than a cheap cable. So I think expensive cable is worth the money. If you are really interested in buying an expensive cable, you can go to a guitar store, ask whether or not you can test a cheap cable and an expensive cable, and I think they will have both in store for you, and you can test it and just see for yourself. This was Mike from his room, the room of doom, as we call it here. And this was the monster cable versus the cheap cable test. Hope you liked it. See you around. Bye.